Well, hey there. Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science. Welcome back to the Precision Data Analytics channel for this impromptu live session. We're going to do, if you recall, the other day we installed Mint Linux using the Cinnamon desktop. Now we're going to add a few of our development goodies in here, things like R, Python environments, Emacs. Who else? We're probably going to try to install the fish shell, and also the project/package development library UV. Okay, so let's go over here first. Let's open up this. Let me get a so we are already live. Okay, but what we're going to do is go over here. I hate CLAs. Let's go to live. Live. And we are live. Let's open up a pop-out chat. Minimize this. Okay, let's get ready to, let's go and log into our environment over here. Python itself should already be installed, of course. Let's log in. And as we always like to do, we're going to run an update first of all. Update and upgrade, okay? And we're going to, even though you know, Mint is designed to really be a GUI interface software management system. We're not. We're going to everything in the command line. You know, of course, Mint is really designed more for, if you pardon the expression, designed more for what? For desktop use. Let's take a look here. You can see they got all kinds of stuff installed. Okay, Internet, Office, sound, and so forth. Preferences, applets. They just have all kinds of packages installed. Okay, for package can be upgraded. And let's see, girl, G-top, light top cinnamon. Okay, good. Return. And like I say, Python should already be installed. Okay. But let's, what should we install first? Let's, I don't remember how much space I actually have. 2%. So what's interesting is it doesn't have a menu at the top, does it? Interesting. Huh. That's sort of interesting. Why would it not have a menu at the top? And how do you open up a second one? So let's do df minus m. So we got about 59 gigabytes still available. And I'm sure we have Python set up. Python is not found. 3. Okay, so I'm a little puzzled. Why you don't have an alias to Python? So the first thing I'm going to do is this. Well, actually, the second thing. The first thing is update the system, right? Sorry about that. Let's see. Let's do this. we'll create a symbolic link from Python 3 to this Python, okay, in the same directory. All right. Oh, okay. This. And there it is. Okay. 26%. I don't suppose Emacs is installed, is it? E3, eGDK, E&OX, and so forth. Alright. Do we have virtual desktops? No, we don't. Interesting. Over here, what do we got? Add desklets. So there's nothing here to suggest that we got now we could come over here and do a couple things just for the fun of it. Okay, we could say dash module env v1. There's a little bit of rumbling going on outside of Python. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. The virtual bar is not created success because ensure pip is not available. On Debian machines, okay, let's do this then. Is it pip app .12 dash okay, so we can't really do that either, can we? Okay. So we can't really do anything for a moment. But by the way, if you are in the chat session, say hi. If you look at my few videos for the last few days, I've been looking at a couple other distributions for the fun of it. One of them is NopX, and the other is DebX, which is kind of interesting. It's intended to be a lightweight Debian distribution. Okay, it's kind of interesting. I have one. It is small, but it is Debian, so you can in fact run the. Let's just see something here. So what kernel does this use? Linux Mint. So this is Ubuntu SMP, which I believe it means multiprocessor, preemptive dynamic, kind of interesting. This is a fairly new kernel. Okay. Let's just take a look at the menu over here. All applications, Bluetooth. So what we want to do is hopefully see. Oh, hey, Zoo, how you doing, my friend? Well, I use a lot of things. For many, many years, I've been a Slackware user. This is Linux Mint. Well, hey, thanks so much for the big like there. I do appreciate that, by the way. Yeah. But I also use Slackware. The last couple of days, I've installed a couple different versions of Linux. I installed the Linux Mint. I installed Knopex, which I haven't thought about for years. And I installed a mini Debian distribution called Debex. But like I say, I started using Slackware back in the late '90s. Okay, back before I started using Slackware back before the kernel turned 1.0. Okay. So anyway, so what part of the world are you in, my friend? I'm just running an update here on my Linux Mint system. It's taken a little longer than I've expected it to take, but anyway. Yeah, I've certainly used Arch before also. Uh, mainly because that's the version that DT DistroTube likes to use. Yeah, so tell me, Zoo, what part of the world are you from? That's okay. Just waiting for updates about, oh, I don't know. We're about halfway through our update. It's taking a little longer than I expected because we're not actually installed that many updates. I'm just sort of looking at everything that's available on. You know, Debian Linux is one of those distributions that I think it tries to sell itself as being a Windows alternative, or it tries to sell itself as being desktop Linux. I personally don't believe in desktop Linux, at least not at the operating system level. It's because that since the earliest days of Linux, it's really always been a server environment. I mean, it's always had server applications like DNS servers or mail servers or mail servers, programming languages. File sharing between Windows and Linux, and it had all these applications designed to be. Plus, it's always been a complete multi-user environment. It's always been designed to be used by more than one person at a time. Okay, which Windows 10 or 11 isn't, right? No one connects to it. You're not supposed to use the Windows 11 as a server. Okay. And in my opinion, the Linux I should say the Linux kernel and the GNU utilities is designed to be a multi-user system. Okay, like I say, email servers, web servers, DNS servers, database servers, programming languages. That stuff has always been here. Always been part of Linux from the earliest days. People keep talking about desktop Linux. Well, the other thing is, as you know, a lot of times when people say desktop Linux, what you're talking about is what you see here, a window manager. Okay, they're not really talking about the operating system. We talk about a nice, friendly window manager. Well, window managers are all the same. They got pop-up menus and they got windows. I mean, that's the only two things that are in applications. I mean, it's not a desktop window manager like Windows. That's all it is. It's menus, applications. Now, that's just my opinion, but see, I get a little annoyed when people constantly, oh, desktop Linux. It's not a desktop operating system. Okay? It's not a desktop operating system. And I go to the point of saying, you know, if we take two people with zero computer experience, set one in front of a Linux machine and the other in front of a Windows machine, the learning curve is going to be about the same. Click on a menu, open an application. Okay, log into the login screen, click on the menu, open your application. If you know, now the difference is between the difference between Windows and Linux is Microsoft Office in general, and specifically Excel. I'm sorry, you know, LibreOffice Calc is not even close to being Excel at this point. Which is why I still have Windows 11 as my main operating system right now. But let's see how much space we have here now. The thing that's kind of odd about Mint's terminal is that it doesn't have any menu at the top. It's just kind of odd. All right. So, and it doesn't appear to have any by default, it doesn't appear to have any virtual environment set up either. Okay. Let's take a look here, see how much space. I didn't give this a whole lot of space. Okay, I gave it about, I guess I gave it, what, available, I gave it about 75 gigabytes of space, and I've used up 11 gigabytes so far. EFI, I'm not sure why if I need EFI or not. Again, this is a virtual machine. Okay. There we are. And I gave it 16 gigabytes of memory and 4 processors. Yeah, I mean, I'm mainly just looking at it. You know, hey, Madi, thanks so much for stopping by. I'm just here with Zoo. We're talking about Linux. I'm doing a little rant about Linux desktop, and we're talking about he uses Arch. Right now I'm looking at a Linux Mint on a virtual machine. I told him that I started using Slackware Linux way back before the kernel turned 1.0, and I also got. I'm sorry I don't. I'm sorry I don't. Honestly, when did you last stop by, Madi? I apologize. I'm not very good with. I'm not very good with names. Okay. So anyway, I gave this Linux Mint 75 gigabytes of space. What did I say? Yeah, 75 gigabytes to start out with. Now, I'm just doing an update now, and then we're going to oh, okay, yeah. I haven't been on Twitch in a couple years. I just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere on there. I wasn't getting more users. You know, we had a Skype meeting. Huh. I apologize. I certainly don't remember that. I presume it had something to do with data. Did it have something to do with the Google Capstone project? That's probably the main reason I have. Ah, there we go. That's not a hard guess. It's probably the only thing I ever talk to people about is the Google Cap. Everything has changed. Has everything changed for the better? Of course, yeah, Skype Skype is no longer. Didn't the Microsoft or someone didn't they shut down Skype? So we're just continuing to wait here for our system to update. Yeah, we didn't have we didn't have ChatGPT back in those days, did we? we talk like it's been 25 years ago. Okay, it's a feature in Windows 11. This should mean 2 updates available. So what we're going to do here, we're going to install. We're going to try to install the fish shell. We're going to try to install R, duckdb. We're going to try to install the Python UV environment manager, package environment manager. If you're not familiar with Hyper-V manager, okay, does that allow you to do some type of a virtual to create virtual machines? Okay. Again, the names, I've heard the name before. I never actually tried to use it. So is that what you use then? 92%. I should look that up on YouTube, see if I can find a video on it with this Hyper-V. Of course, who knows, VMware may actually use Hyper-V as in the background. It's always a possibility. Add remove features in Windows 11. Okay. Add and remove features. How do I get to add or remove? How do I get to add and remove features? Hey, thanks, Zoo. It's kind of you to say that. And again, thanks for the big crown there. I do appreciate it. Hey, of course, Monty, thanks for the double crown. Okay, hey, stop by anytime. I'm probably going to start doing more of these afternoon sessions because I actually have a couple people show up for them. Okay. Okay, so let's go back over here now. So the first thing we want to install is you have to install the Python virtual environment as a separate feature. Hey, thanks, Zoo, very much. Yeah. So let's install this. Okay, good. Now let's get a little funky. Let's see if we can install fish shell. And then what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to change, it's time for your Linux command for today. We're going to change our shell, our default shell. So let's try this. User bin, change shell. Oops. Let's do a man. Let's just do a SUD. No, do you have to do that? In order to change your own shell, do you have to do that? Oh, my father died maybe a year ago. He died at age 99. I think is it the last year or the year before last? I can't quite recall, but yeah, he took a bad fall and he never really recovered from it. But you know, he had a long and very happy life and a very eventful life. I mean, I tell people, you know, he was a thank you so much for the kind words. You know, I tell people, you know, he had a long and happy life. He was a sailor. He served in the South Pacific in World War II in the Navy. He was a father, a husband, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather. And he had a long. He's married to my mom for over 60 years. He cared for her at the end when she had Alzheimer's. So he had a long. He died happy. He also died knowing he didn't spend all his money on health care. That's another thing. So let's try. Let's do this first. Let's just do an echo. So right now, oh, not bad. Let's just take a look at a this should be the change shell. Change login shell. Okay. User. That's interesting. Okay. Let's do this. Change. Let's do. I did. I mean, you know, I helped my dad care for my mom who had died from Alzheimer's in the last few years of her life, and you know, I sometimes think that the reason I never got married, even it was intentional, was, you know, because I had to care for my parents. I mean, I'm 70 years old now. But I'm just saying that, you know, maybe the reason God never gave me a wife because he knew someone had to care for my parents in their final years. Okay, so I've never regretted caring for my parents. Okay. In Linux, how do I change the login shell? I know the command. I'm just not sure where the username goes. Yep. Okay, so we want to change another user's account -s. All right. So I'm happy to say both of my dad lived at home up until maybe the last 2 weeks of his life. And that's when he fell, and like I say, he was in a hospital for a week. They transferred him to a care facility. He's basically there a week, and he died. So my mom died. My mom died at home. My dad lived at home to the final 2 weeks of his life. I mean, he probably should have gone to a care facility earlier, because he did, but I mean, but he didn't want to. He never liked to spend money. He worked all his life to try to save some money. Speak to, let's see, video capture, desktop audio. Let's try this. Is that any better? That seems to be the one. Is that any better? Okay, good. So let's exit out of this and back down here. That's interesting. It didn't actually change the shell, did it? How odd. Let's try this again. sudo chsh. Now we could also just go in and edit the password, right? Let's see. Using sudo cs-h. Password for David J. So it's still not changing our shell, is it? Okay, we're going to do something a little dangerous here. Do not try this at home. Let's do this. Let's do nano. So we're going to come down here. We're going to look for me. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. Okay. Oh, what does say I have? It does say fish, but it's not reading the shell then, is it? Interesting. Okay. Let's do something a little funky here. Let's log out. Let's do a restart. For whatever reason, it's not reading our shell. Okay, but I tell you what, my friend, I gotta run now. Got some things to do, but hey, thanks so much for spending time. I'm going to try to do more of these afternoon live streams, but anyway, thanks so much for you and Zoo for stopping by, spend some time. I appreciate your kind words as always. I'll be sure to take a look at Hyper-V when I get a chance, okay?